Time management is a superpower, power I do not possess, although I wish I did. If you also do not possess this power, please like and subscribe so we can all lose track of time together. The feeling when trying to do this challenge and knowing that time is slipping away and it's just not going to work in my favor is one that I'm really starting to hate and really making me feel negative about this whole challenge. It also works both ways. Sometimes an enclosure is done super fast, sometimes there's not enough time to get it done, and I don't always know which way it's going to go when I start the new enclosure. Even though that happens, the outcome of most of these enclosures is one I'm proud of. I'm learning so much, and my techniques are evolving, even if I'm not to the level of some other people's skills when it comes to games like this. But I'll keep going and growing with this beloved genre. That being said, this enclosure is one of the ones I really liked the outcome of. I was so proud of the tower and the bridge, and the fact that I felt like I really brought a good amount of life and movement to the whole enclosure. The whole enclosure is inspired by a series of books I love, and the Megaloceros fits right into the theme. And I'm sure you're wondering what theme and books by now, so it's the Throne of Glass book series by Sarah J. Maas. I do yearly rereads of it, and it's that time of the year. While this enclosure is inspired by the books, I did follow the rules and I didn't pre-plan it. I loaded into the zoo and was scrolling through the species I have and haven't used so far, and saw the species and an idea popped into my head and I was like, yes, this is the one. Now, I'll chat a little bit about the build itself. I started out with building up the land space a little bit. I wanted to hide the rockwork of the cave bear habitat that was visible on this side, although I could have incorporated it into this enclosure because the land area I based my idea in is mountainous, so it would have fit in really well. But I was tired of rocks, which I know you all are too, so I cut out pretty much all the non-detail based rockwork so you don't have to suffer. It also helped in part to make the video go from almost 50 minutes long down to 30, even after compression. Anyways, I needed some rockwork in it, and happily I loved the outcome of the rockwork I did do. It felt supernatural and blended well, and going forward I think I'll be able to do more and more natural land spaces with rockwork. Although I do need to work on my details. I found myself struggling with this one to include detailed rock pieces. The little kinds of rocks that you would see in forests or other areas. I think it's a side effect of living in a place with very little rocky or mountainous areas, aside from some specific areas that I'd only ever see from the side of the road where the rock had been pushed back using dynamite and machinery, and doesn't look natural anymore. Aside from the rocks, I wanted some variable land levels, so I have an upper area for the tower with a ramp that wraps around it down to the main land space, which a small river bisects the area. And I hope that I made it look like the river kind of meanders off outside the enclosure. I think our next task will be to work on rivers and lakes and to try and make them look more realistic, especially since we have the wetlands biome coming soon and new wetland species in the future. I'll check which dinosaurs enjoy water spaces and maybe we'll have a few before the challenge ends. Now, when I was working on the tower, I wanted it to be somewhat similar to what the original pieces in the books once looked like, but also keep to the fact that they would have been aged and left with little to no care, if not abandoned altogether. I also wanted to make sure that the details added to it made it feel grand and like at some point in its history it was cared for deeply, and was a good symbol of the people who resided in and around the area. I'm pretty ecstatic with the details on it. Not too many to be cluttered, but not too few that it looks blank. I spent a lot of time pausing and looking at it and trying ideas out, even if they didn't make it into the final cut of the video. I think a lot of the time that people put into videos is on the detail work of their buildings, and I totally get it. I'm not particularly good at building, so it took a lot of my time to work on it, and it sped up quite a lot for this video. I also started to work on a hawk for the building, only to be reminded that after a certain distance the shapes de-render. So I gave up on that when I took him to the tower to see how his size worked. I had also planned on putting some other birds flying above the tower, and the reminder popped that bubble for me. After working on the tower, I worked on the bridge for the river, and I had made a single whole bridge before the one that you see in this video. I decided I didn't like the original bridge. It didn't fit in with the theme or the feel of the enclosure. It was wooden and very kind of lackluster. But the stone bridge I ended up making, I had so much fun working on it. I leaned heavily into the try many things idea for it, and so I tried different sizes of pillars, and different ways to have the bottom portion of it, and so on. In the end, the outcome is something I love so much, and I think I'll make it into a schematic to use in other areas as I need. It might be a simple structure, but I love it. If you want me to upload it to the workshop, let me know, I'll be happy to do so. For the foliage, I kind of did a weird two-tone style where I had boreal and coastal pine trees and shrubs up top, around the tower, and more temperate and seasonal foliage down below in the main areas, and very slight blending in the meeting point. I'm not sure how I feel on it. It was kind of an experiment that I decided to try. The area in the books would be more boreal forest based, but I figured I could put a different twist into the enclosure to add my own flair. That's really all I have to say about the whole build, although I'm not done rambling for you all. I do want to point out that now that the videos are getting exceptionally long, this one was 7 hours and 5 parts before editing and speeding up the footage. Most of the footage is sped up to 800 or 850%, and large chunks of footage have been removed altogether just to trim this whole thing down. Going forward, I'm worried about making the videos too fast, and so I think from here on out the videos will just get longer. I'm not sure how many people will enjoy that, but short of making the videos so fast no one will be happy watching them without motion sickness, I'm not sure what else to do. Maybe I could split them into parts and release them a couple times a week, but either way, let me know what you think. I think I'm officially done rambling now. One day I might ramble for the whole video, but I don't know what I'd say that I don't already say in less than 10 minutes. I'd like to hear from the viewers if you all prefer videos with talking all the way through, or just small parts. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with my adventures on this channel. Take care.